Hi, this is John C. Reilly.
Hey, I'm Maren Morris.
Hi, this is Missy from Mannequin Pussy.
I'm Jesse Wells.
We're Lucius.
This is Blöthar from the rock band GWAR.
Hey, I'm Tom Odell, and I'm with Consequence.
Consequence.
With Consequence.
For consequence, on consequence, in consequence, as a consequence.
Hey, we're Mount Joy, we're with Consequence, and we're talking about our favorite concert experiences.
We were at a festival where Peaches was playing. She was amazing. So unique and perfect and exactly like what I wanted to see. There's just not that many artists you see who play like in this stripped down way and like can own a stage with just like themselves and one or two other people.
I was about 13 at the Washington State Fair in the state of Washington. Alice Cooper was playing, and he had a great big guillotine, and he cut his own head off. And I saw his head fall off. I thought, badass.
Sarah, Jarose, and I.
I'm just gonna choose that one.
Fine, we're both gonna choose this one. But we went to see Paul Simon at Madison Square Garden. We spent a ton of money on the tickets. We sat in the 13th row. If I think about it, I'll start crying. It was an unbelievable concert. It was on his farewell tour. He did, continue to tour after that, but I don't care. It still felt like a special moment. Bridge over troubled waters. We were dying, sobbing.
Lots of tears. Seeing Paul Simon at the Ryman was also my other favorite.
I'm gonna choose a recent concert at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. We watched Gillian, Welch, and Dave Rawlings play. It was life-changing musical experience. Crazy to hear all this enormous repertoire that was generated from these two humans that everyone in the crowd was loving and singing along to. It was iconic. It was like a religious experience.
James Brown at the Fairmont Hotel, New Year's. I was 10 years old. The band, his presence, they were doing the whole skit with putting his coat on and he'd shake it off and then his background vocalist would come and put it back up on again, and it was just pageantry.
Tom Petty at Mountain Jam in upstate New York. I came away just blown away, elated. I was just so grateful to get to see him in that kind of setting. Everybody was just on such a high.
John Prine and Roger Waters joined together on stage. We got to be little birdies in the background singing with them, and it was just one of those pinch me moments. The whole spirit of community was so present and so alive.
LCD Soundsystem, our front of house man was friends with their front of house man, so he got us into like the perfect listening zone. And yeah, everything about the sound and the look and the energy was just like perfect.
The dirty projectors rise.
That was
really hocketing crazy guitars, hocketing crazy voices, and then Rob Stillman Horses opened first of three, and it was just like one after another, and then ended with Deerhoof, and we were like, yeah, this is crazy.
What he is able to achieve with just a ride cymbal, a snare, and a kick. He's just one of the most dynamic performers, and the music is obviously insane and crazy synchronicity.
I have a picture of that on my MySpace page.
Oh, really?
I remember seeing Mumford at Bonnaroo. It was my first Bonnaroo experience also. I was just transformed. I was so in a spiritual place during that set. Of course, I knew some of their big hits, but then everything in between, Marcus playing drums, just the community, I felt really changed after that set. I think when you see a band at a festival, there's a different kind of elevation you can get than just listening to them on tape. And then years later, Marcus and I ended up working together, and so it all felt really full circle.
It happens to be in a kitchen in Murray, Kentucky, with probably about 13 other people watching Parquet courts play their record Light Up Gold before it kind of exploded. It was such an amazing night, just me and some close friends and, 13 people in there, because that's about how many people we could talk into getting over.
Shaky Knees saw Tenacious D. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was very, very good. I was just a wee little boy, and I saw the Blink-182, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, so it was wild.
My first concert, Coldplay, was crazy.
In college, I saw Erykah Badu, and that blew my mind.
When I was in high school and sort of starting to write songs, I saw Damien Rice in Philadelphia. He had the whole place super silent, and it was a really impactful show.
I've just been on tour with Billie Eilish around Europe. I got to watch her show every night. She is truly a phenomenal live act, and her show is truly phenomenal. You've got to go and see it if you get the chance.
My favorite concert moment that I remember was watching HR from the Bad Brains come running out. I was sitting there, I was a just a young Berserker, nervously watching. Suddenly I felt someone step on my head, and it turns out that it was the great HR. Then he leaps onto the stage. He runs to the wall, runs up the wall, does a flip into a split, grabs the microphone, James Brown style, and starts singing while the Bad Brains are playing that intro song off of Eye Against Eye. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
We were in Australia, in Brisbane. We got an opportunity to watch Deftones side of stage. It was a sight to behold. The festival was set in the city, so you had all these skyscrapers, and the sun was setting, and the night sky was taking over. You had a sea of moshers you couldn't even see to the end. It was so beautiful, and the music is so cinematic that I just felt like I was in some game or something, and something crazy was about to happen. And yeah, that was just such an amazing experience. The energy of the crowd were just unreal. There was a sea of people just like moving all together, but they were like moshing and they were like falling over each other, but in a really like positive way. Like, we love a good mosh pit. So when we saw that, we were like, that's it. That is how you do it. He's like just covered. He's always like drenched through, because you know he's given every ounce of his energy and like self to that performance. The music is just so like beautiful, but it hits hard at the same time, which is like the best combo.
Beyonce, but on the Sasha Fierce tour, and I must have been about 10 or 11 years old. And I remember my mum booked tickets for her dad's birthday, but they were up in like the nosebleeds, but they didn't deliver the tickets till like the day of the show, so they gave us like third row tickets as compensation. And this was honestly just the most mind-blowing experience, like just watching her all-female band and seeing black women like shredding the bass and the guitar. It just like really transformed my dreams in terms of like I could really see myself like doing this, and I was like, I just really want to be in a band. Seeing Divinity Rocks, who was her bass player, like whipping her dreadlocks, shredding like this bass solo in front of this massive arena. I think it was like Birmingham Arena, and I was just like, wow, like the power that she has is incredible, and I was just like, I want to do that.
Last year I saw the Marked Men with Chinese telephones in Milwaukee at the Cactus Club. It was just one of those shows where I was just pointing my finger at the band the whole time. I mean, I wish every show was like that, just in like a 200 cap room. They'd never talked the whole show. They just played their songs, and it was like very efficient and awesome.
All right, well, we just saw Justice recently, and that was such an eye-opening show to see like the whole package of lighting and all the performance stuff they have. It was the first time like during a concert to hear like actual dynamics throughout the show, and them really building up to a point, and then the drop, or just like the crescendo of music just like really hitting you where it's supposed to. And it's the first time I like actually noticed that during an electronic music concert. Usually it's just flat noise the entire time, but that like really built you up in suspense, and I was just blown away. I took a lot away from it. So shout out Justice.
Yeah, shout out Justice for sure. The first concert actually I ever saw was Jay-Z in my hometown. I was like 14 or 15, and I'll just never forget that, because I'm such a huge fan of Jay-Z, and I love rap and I love hip-hop, and my dad took me as a surprise, and it was so cool seeing him in the flesh in person. And that whole show, I think it was the Magna Carta Holy Grail tour, it was just incredible. Like the lighting was crazy, and it was so cool because it taught me a lot about stage presence now, like as like a rapper. Like it's just him up there like on the stage and like nobody else, and he carries himself very well. So shout out Jay-Z.
Beastie Boys 1995 Ill Communications tour was the show at the Patriot Center. We went, me and Benj, and that was when we decided to start Good Charlotte. We were like, we're gonna start a band. That's what we're doing.
Cracker played the 930 Club in Washington, D.C., and Ben Lee opened, and Ben Lee came out. We met him and he took us backstage and we gave him our demo, and like we've been friends ever since. I think it's part of why we do what we do now, because that's like the greatest part of it is like you see someone that no one knows who they are yet, but you go, I can see this kid got something, and then you see them take their whole journey. It's amazing.
Jonathan Richman. What I love about Jonathan is that he keeps it really stripped down and spare. It's just him, his guitar, and this drummer, Tommy. He improvises his way through the whole show. He finds connection with the audience. You know, he cares about the audience, and that's something that I can really appreciate. He really wears his heart on his sleeve. He keeps it really kind. He keeps it really accepting and tolerant of all different people, and his songs are just awesome. So Jonathan Richman is someone who taught me how to really engage with an audience and make the moment special, make this moment really special. Not just something you rehearsed before you got to the gig, but right now in this moment. Even this video right now between you and I is just right now. This is all we have. This is it. This is life. It goes past and then it's gone.